assessment, saying that they are replacing the Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna at the time, with Honorable Catherine Omanyo, the woman rep for Busia, as the substantive Secretary General. What is the political significance of this, especially in the ODM party?
I think ODM is doing what it ought to have done many months back. It was very clear even when Raila Odinga was still alive that Edwin Sifuna had already quit ODM and was no longer espousing the ideals of the party. Edwin Sifuna was now working for another political formation that was not in the interest of ODM as a political party. So it is very important that we know that small detail. You know, our people have just one problem.
Yes.
They have been used to fighting the government of the day, that anybody who appears to be fighting the government of the day, to them appears to be their hero, their bold man, their truth teller. I think we need to know that not every government of the day is our enemy. Some governments of the day are our friends and are people we need to support very strongly. You notice that even in the near past, Sifuna had arranged his own political formation in which they were going all over the country talking against the position of ODM party in almost all issues, even wearing different colors from ODM. If you look at their formation, Lenda Wananchi,
yes,
it is wearing blue, it is wearing the colors of Azimio, a political party that had since been taken over by Uhuru Kenyatta. So if Sifuna had left the party much earlier, maybe the party would be more stable than now, because you cannot be with somebody who is talking at cross purposes with the political party.
And my question again is, Mwalimu, when the party came out saying that, you know, we are relieving Sifuna of his duties, Sifuna was at the time not clearly espousing the ideals of the party. But when you see how the media carried out this action of ODM, they said that Sifuna was sacrificed for his boldness. Do you agree?
Of course, you have known the kind of headlines the Standard had been writing since President William Ruto came to power. The Standard is one single greatest weapon against President William Ruto. Every letter they print is such that it makes President William Ruto not get the second term. So I don't think anybody should continue taking the Standard newspapers seriously in any matters regarding President William Ruto. They look for choice words that disparage the name of the president to use in everything they do. So I don't think anybody should waste his money buying the Standard in matters that involves President William Ruto. They have a personal vendetta. They have a bone to chew. They have a bone to pick with the president. But going back to Sifuna,
yes,
let us also remember that one day when Raila Odinga was in the country, and somewhere in Western Province, I think Kakamega, Sifuna told Raila Odinga that if Raila Odinga insists on supporting President William Ruto, he will be out of the party. Now, that is the height of what we call insubordination. You cannot do that to a party leader like Raila Odinga. And people have been saying that, oh, but you know, Baba kept on saying Sifuna is the spokesman of the party. Sifuna is still in the party, and Sifuna has a right to say what he said. One thing that we must know, that a person holding such important documents as Sifuna, such important office like Sifuna, you cannot tell him that we have lost faith in you. He can sabotage you from within. Just the same way, you cannot warn your house girl in advance that I will be firing you tomorrow. She can poison you. She can sabotage the whole family. So you wait until it is appropriate time, like they waited with Magarer Langat. When it became appropriate, they fired him. The same way they did almost with Ababu, but Ababu, they gave him the opportunity to resign because he was not misbehaving as much as Sifuna was doing. And I think anybody saying that Sifuna was fired because of it, you can't be bold in ODM, but when ODM says we are negotiating with President William Ruto, you attack that very President William Ruto. When ODM says we are supporting dialogue, you attack that dialogue. You can't be working for us. And you can't work for us by force. If we think you are not espousing the ideals of the political party, they will throw you out. And I think they have done the right thing, albeit a bit too late.
But how can you reconcile? Because when Raila Odinga was in the western part of this country, I think in Busia County, attending an ODM themed rally, he told the people at the time who were baying for Sifuna's blood that ODM is a democratic party. If you don't like what Sifuna is saying, stand up and say yours.
Of course.
Yes?
Yeah. Even Kenya is a democratic country, but there are some statements which will take you to jail. ODM is a democratic party, but there are certain statements which go against even that democracy in itself. If ODM is saying they are talking to political formations in Kenya to find out which one they will form a coalition with, and you are saying the ones they are already talking to, you cannot stand. You are attacking it every other day. First of all, explain to me why Sifuna is attacking CS Mbadi. Explain to me why Sifuna is attacking CS, the other guy is called Wandai.
Wandai.
And this very Sifuna, while Raila Odinga was alive, he would go from funeral to funeral in Luoland attacking the person of Raymond Omolo. So this is a guy who had gone rogue. This is a guy who is no longer working for the party, but the opponents of the party. You cannot work for our competitors and still say you are part of us. Of course, that is a hypothetical talking. I'm not saying I'm an ODM.
Yes.
So, there is a law in this country. If you appear to be supporting another political party, to be espousing the ideals of another political party, it is assumed you have left your own political party. That is even in law. So these people who are saying Sifuna was removed from his baldness, why was Junet Mohammed removed from Azimio? Did anybody even complain? Did even anybody suggest it was unprocedural? Did anybody even think it was unlawful? Even Raphael Tuju was made to resign from Jubilee. Nobody talked about it. Nobody made noise about it. Why is this one? And if you look at it, the people who are more concerned and who are complaining about of Sifuna's removal are the opposition. They are the Uhuru Kenyatta axis. How come? So it is very clear, and get to know it from me now.
Yes.
Even in the ODM strongholds of Luo-Nyanza and Western, the opposition that is being assembled and patroned by Uhuru Kenyatta is paying very many bloggers to spearhead their agenda in those areas, to look like there are many Luos who don't like what is going on, to look like there are many Luos who don't like what is going on. This is the problem of having one person amass so much wealth that they can use to destabilize governments, that they can use to bring instability in the government of the country, just to get their personal interest done. Today, anybody who is telling me that Sifuna was so bald, and that is why he was bald in helping Kenya, how? How was he helping Kenya in his baldness? People have been made in this country to believe that President William Ruto is not doing the right thing in Kenya. How can you not be doing the right thing and you are building a super highway that had not been built by any other government before? You are the one who has given us Talanta Stadium, and people still say you are not working. You are the one who is building roads throughout the country. Even the one that he was disparaged most, where he was talking about Modogashe, where and where. Yesterday he was on that road, showing the world that I said this and the road is being built. But where Karoli comes from, a road is being built. A road that Karoli himself said had never been built since time immemorial. So let us not be cheated by people who are being financed to attack the government of the day for personal future interests. No.
But Sifuna said that people don't eat roads, you know.
So he wants us only to work for food.
Yeah.
I think Sifuna sometimes chooses to be stupid when he is not. How do you say people don't eat roads? It is road that delivers food. Isn't it road that delivers food? Isn't it roads that delivers everything else that we want? Sifuna himself come from Western Kenya, where we wanted to build the Rironi Mausavit Road to East Transport. And the opposition to this road is from the very people Sifuna is serving now. So Sifuna must also be rejected, not only by the people of Nairobi, but the people of Western Kenya. Today, we have a beautiful road from Nairobi all the way to Nyeri. Nobody complained about its construction, but the one that is going to serve the people of Western Kenya, from where Sifuna comes from, these very people have been opposing it, but Sifuna is defending them with all his energy. These are people who know many of Kenyans, many people from Western Kenya have been conditioned to be opposing every government of the day. So Sifuna opposing that appears to them as a hero when it's actually destroying the good things that we are doing. Some of the things President William Ruto is being accused of once were done during Uhuru and Kibaki. But you know, the people also have one problem.
Yes.
They lose track of time. They forget very quickly the chronology of events. They forget very quickly the actions in the past. Today, they are being told that President William Ruto has introduced a levy called housing levy. Uhuru himself introduced the railway levy. And that railway, we are still paying for it today. And nobody made noise about it. And at least Ruto is introducing these levies, and what he's doing with them is seen. You've seen the way houses are being built around the country. Uhuru Kenyatta brought for us the big four agenda: housing, food security, universal health care, and manufacturing. None of them took off. Exactly none of them. We went to Kisumu and launched universal health care, which never took off. It is Ruto who came back with the idea of SHA, and now you can go to hospital and get treated and the bill paid. Now the so-called manufacturing never took off at all. It is Ruto who is now doing economic zones. Uhuru Kenyatta launched what is called affordable housing. Yes. Only one house was started here in Kibra, which never took off, was never completed. Today, all over the country, every county has affordable housing going on.
There was one in Pangani, Mwalimu, which was completed.
That was by national housing. Okay. I know about it. And also, even when you leave affordable housing, yes, there is the food security. Uhuru did nothing about food security. President William Ruto came and introduced subsidized fertilizer because President William Ruto knows it is good to support production rather than consumption of subsidizing unga. Subsidize fertilizer to produce unga. President William Ruto ensured that Galana Kulalu irrigation scheme is not only working, but is ready to produce food, maize, and it is green today. What else would they want President William Ruto to do? But to come and feed them in their houses.
But you see, Mwalimu, even though, of course, you veered off, but I want us to still be on that issue of Sifuna.
Okay, let's go back.
As of yesterday, he said that they are going to have a rally in Kitengela.
Yes.
It seems that the actions of the ODM party doesn't deter them.
It wasn't meant to deter them. It was only meant to throw out somebody sabotaging a political party from within, somebody disrespecting the top party leadership. That is all ODM needed to do. They did not do that so that Sifuna is incapacitated. So they can continue, Sifuna can continue with their rallies, but we know from where we sit, that formation of Sifuna is a formation led by Uhuru Kenyatta. We must also learn that Sifuna had started wearing blue long time ago. He is in the Azimio, which has been taken over by Uhuru Kenyatta. But let them know, they are making a monster that they will never be able to control. Because this same Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who said Ruto yake 10 and yangu 10. As soon as he secured his second term, he betrayed Ruto and said Ruto anatangatanga and said now he wants to support Raila. And of course, Raila supporters were very happy, but they did not see the trick behind Uhuru's support for Raila. Uhuru's support for Raila was meant to make Uhuru Kenyatta an executive prime minister. And he even introduced 70 new constituencies to help elect him new prime minister if the BBI passed. Unfortunately for him, the BBI did not pass. And what did he do? He stopped supporting Raila. And that the ordinary people can't see because they have been conditioned to fighting the government of the day. This time, unfortunately, the government of the day is being led by President William Ruto. So anybody supporting William Ruto appears to them as a hero. Sifuna was very rude even to Raila Odinga. And don't think Raila Odinga appearing to support him, appearing to affirm that he has his rights, was in support. No. Raila Odinga was just preparing him for the slaughter. In fact, if Raila Odinga was alive, Sifuna would have been long gone as Secretary General of ODM.
But when you look at it in this let's look at it in this particular perspective. Is there any political capital that Sifuna holds besides ODM party?
Sifuna was picked by ODM from nowhere. He was not nobody. And ODM made him the Secretary General after replacing Namwamba. In fact, ODM made it, but he wasn't elected by anyone. Nobody elected Sifuna. In fact, so to come here and tell us that Sifuna was removed unlawfully. First of all, he was not even Secretary General. In fact, I suspect the person whose name appears in the books as the Secretary General of ODM could even be Nyong'o, not even Ababu Namwamba or Sifuna. So this idea of unlawfully is just political statements. It's just propaganda. It's statement meant to make people think in a certain way that he has been offended. Nobody has offended him. He offended himself. Yes.
Moving, Sifuna is the senator of Nairobi.
Of course.
And Nairobi, being a metropolitan city, and has always veered or leaned towards opposition. Do you think he's positioning himself for the politics of the city?
The Nairobi has always leaned towards opposition because these other governments have been having grave mistakes that people want to correct. But again, people have been made to believe that anybody opposing the government of the day is a bold man, a hero fighting for the people. You cannot have every government of the day as an enemy, that anybody fighting that government is a hero fighting for the people. We can't have a people always fighting their own governments they have elected. We must be civilized people who elect you for 5 years. You perform, they see your performance compared to the past, the present, and those who are queuing to take your position and make a decision that you can continue or not. Yeah, but not that you are fighting the government of the day, you appear to people a hero, because the people have been conditioned so.
Yeah, and when you look at it moving forward into the future, now that we have numerous factions of ODM, do you think this decision makes ODM more stronger or a little bit weaker?
Sifuna has no capacity to make ODM strong or weak. Sifuna already, while inside ODM, he was already sabotaging ODM from within. He's like a parasite in your feet. It is itching, but you fear removing it because it will involve tearing a bit of your skin. Tear it and remove the parasite before it grows and begins laying eggs in your system. Sifuna is that parasite who was in ODM, laying dirty eggs in ODM's legs. It is itching, and people fear that removing it will involve a bit of blood and tearing of the skin. Surgery is always necessary for a dangerous disease. Sifuna was a dangerous disease in ODM, that the surgical removal of Sifuna is the best thing that has happened to ODM since the death of Raila Odinga.
And this thing is not about Sifuna alone. We have numerous members of parliament, especially with the ODM party, people like Babu Owino, Osotsi, and others. And even Winnie Odinga are pulling on the Linda Wananchi side. And
I think nobody has touched those people you are mentioning.
Yes.
The only person that has reached a threshold of being a bad person within ODM was Sifuna. He was extending his arrogance to a level we could not accept as a people, as a country. So ODM has just done what we would have wished them to do, and we say kudos.